This season didn't follow a script. It tore it to shreds. Week after week, the powers shifted. Favorites crumbled. Underdogs rose. There are no flawless resumes. No unanimous answers. Just questions, doubt, debate. And now, on the heels of the most unpredictable year yet, the CFCL steps into uncharted territory. A new engine, a new generation, a new era. 12 teams remain, battle-tested, hungry, one decision away from destiny. Some of them dominated. Some clawed their way here. Others still waiting, hoping their name will be called before that final door shuts. Every play this season led to this moment. The tension is real. The stakes never higher. Legends will be born. Hearts will be broken. Now it's time. The college football playoff. Who's in?
All right, and now it's time for the part that everybody's been waiting for. This is my first reaction to the college football playoff rankings and who has made it in and who has been left out. Let's go through and see what our postseason here in Season 7 looks like. The number 1 seed, a bye week, and a conference champion. Georgia hangs on to it, no surprises there. Bulldogs, of course, 11-1, win the conference championship to go 12-1. Ultimately, a very, very good team that did a lot of really good things. Their only loss to South Carolina, beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. Not surprised at all. So that means behind them we should expect number 2, Michigan. There they are, 12-1 as well. Big Ten champs beat number 3, Purdue, by 11 points in the Big Ten championship game. So there's going to be that on their resume. Slides them into the number 2 seed, also a good squad, and my preseason pick to win the national championship game. Number 3, the Clemson Tigers, 10-3 ACC champs. The win over Pitt gets them a bye week, and that's what you get for winning your conference. You get a bye. You don't have to play that first round game, risk early elimination, maybe get some players healthy. Clemson will get that. Logan Masters will get another chance here after a good win over a Pitt team that was really hot on the season. And now our last bye week. Last team that's going to get a bye as a conference champion. We have a couple options in here for these bids. You have potentially Tulsa, Toledo, Washington, and maybe even Iowa State if you start pushing the boundary a little bit. It is going to be Toledo. So the Rockets go 12-1, win the MAC. They finished ranked 12th in the poll, but that's good enough to get them the last bye. So that leaves our options for the last auto bid. We'll check out who that is. Clearly they're going to slide into the 12 seed because they're not ranked higher than Toledo. And Toledo's number 12, which means that whoever this is will get the 12th spot, the 12th seed in the college football playoff. Again, I think it's going to be between Tulsa, Washington, and maybe even Iowa State. Do you value the Pac-12, the American, or the Big 12? Washington gets it. So the Huskies move in to the college football playoff for about the 3rd time, I believe, in CFCL history. And they'll be the last team in, so they'll have quite the road to make it all the way to the very end. We'll see if they can do it, but that auto bid's going to get them in after all. Moving to the 5th seed, no more auto bids, all at large. Number 5 will play Washington in the first round. We get Michigan State. So the Spartans finished 3rd in the final rankings, and they'll get the 5th seed after getting pushed down by the conference championships. Just a little bit, didn't make it, of course. Michigan got that nod over them after the tiebreaker. They'll get Washington in the first round. That could definitely be a fun matchup. Spartans, a little issues with the offense this season, but the defense has played very well. The 6th seed, the Miami Hurricanes, a similar story, pushed out of the top 4 because they did not make their conference champion, but 10-2 on the season. Of course, very respectable in the ACC. Finished 2nd in their division. Lost to Pitt late, kind of knocked them out of the conference championship game. But again, this is a really good team. They've done some really good things this season. Really big wins. They just struggle against the most elite defenses, so we'll have to see. Number 7, the Florida Gators, 10-2 as well. So 3 10-2 squads in a row. And the Gators in the SEC East finished 2nd. Losses to Georgia, Tennessee. Not bad teams. So they're definitely pretty capable. As a unit, we'll have to see who they play in the first round and if they can get that win. Number 8 is going to be Purdue. So the Boilermakers get knocked down a couple notches after losing the conference championship game to Michigan, but we figured they'd be in. This is not surprising whatsoever. They do get that nod. And they'll play the number 9 seed, who is Oklahoma, the first 9-3 squad out here. First team that did not reach double-digit wins that we'll see. Oklahoma had an up-and-down season in the Big 12. Some good wins, some bad losses. But they will be in the playoff after all. Above Kansas State, who went 10-2. And we'll have to see if they can fight in here because they're still in conversation. Maybe they'll slide in at this 10 seed. USC, also 9-3. So the Pac-12 team, that'll make 2 Pac-12. Washington, USC. USC finishing 3rd in their own division, 3 conference losses. But ultimately, it's still going to be enough. They like the resume. They like the win over Notre Dame very late that pushed them into the playoff. And now there's only 1 spot left. The 11 seed. And we have a couple teams here that we think it could be. Kansas State, like I mentioned, went 10-2. Alabama, 10-3. They just kind of got blasted in the SEC championship game. Tulsa could have an argument. Maybe you're looking at Iowa State from a really far outside perspective. But I really think that the big topics here are Kansas State, Notre Dame, Alabama. Those are probably your top 3. 10-3 Alabama, lost in the conference championship. Notre Dame, 10-2, did not play in a conference championship. And Kansas State, 10-2, did not play in the Big 12 championship game. Lost to Iowa State in the last week of the season. Who do they give this final nod to that'll be playing Miami in the first round? Last team in is the Alabama Crimson Tide. So they leave out multiple teams that just felt like they were right on the edge. I mean, that's just how this works. 10-3 Alabama Crimson Tide get the 11th spot. Notre Dame held out. Kansas State held out. I mean, this is just brutal for them. Tulsa, I mean, they had a pretty good season. Really good resume overall, honestly. They played mostly bowl-eligible teams. At the end of the day, Alabama will get that nod. This is your playoff bracket. First round, Washington, Michigan State. They'll head to the Fiesta Bowl where Toledo waits. Oklahoma and Purdue, the winner going to the Sugar Bowl to play Georgia. Alabama, Miami, headed to the Peach Bowl versus Clemson. And USC and Florida will play for the right to the Rose Bowl against Michigan. This is your final bracket. Let's see what the bowls will look like this season. And now for the bowl games, let's go and see who has made what bowl games. 68 Ventures Bowl got Ohio versus Old Dominion. 6-6 Old Dominion with Quincy Wexler versus 9-3 Ohio, who is towards the top of the MAC. That could be a fun one. The Armed Forces Bowl, Arizona State and New Mexico. Both teams with 7 wins. Arizona State, the Pac-12 runner-ups, but man, they did not do good in the conference championship game. Bahamas Bowl, 8-4 versus 9-4 App State and Rice. 2 G5 squads. Troy and Pitt, 9-4 versus 8-5. Could definitely be a fun one. Boca Raton Bowl, NC State and UCF. Camellia Bowl is Buffalo and Jacksonville State, two high-caliber G5s. The Cure Bowl, 9-3 Eastern Michigan versus 6-6 Marshall. The Detroit Bowl is Wisconsin and Bowling Green. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Liberty and Wyoming, both 8-4 on the season. The Fenway Bowl, Florida State takes on Temple, who's still in the top 25. First Responder Bowl is Tulsa versus Coastal Carolina. The Frisco Bowl, Southern Miss versus Cincinnati. Gasparilla Bowl, TCU versus Virginia. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, 7-5 Texas A&M versus 7-5 Nevada. The Hawaii Bowl, two really good G5s, San Diego State, James Madison. The Holiday Bowl, Georgia Tech takes on Maryland. The Independence Bowl, Nebraska versus Iowa State. The LA Bowl, Ohio State versus Boise State, 6-6. Ohio State at 8-5, Mountain West Conference champs, Boise State. Could be fun. The Las Vegas Bowl, number 11 Kansas State held out of the playoff versus 8-4 Iowa. The Liberty Bowl, 7-5 Tulane versus 7-5 Texas. The Military Bowl, 7-5 Memphis versus 6-6 North Carolina. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, UConn 6-6. They've been a fun team up and down versus Miami, Ohio at 8-4. The New Mexico Bowl, Louisiana Tech versus San Jose State. Again, two pretty solid G5s in there. The New Orleans Bowl, 8-4 Middle Tennessee State versus 7-5 BYU. And our last bowl game, the Texas Bowl, 7-5 South Carolina versus 8-4 Oklahoma State. Could be a very fun one. Both teams, upset-heavy teams, up and down throughout the season, have some weird losses, big wins. Could be very fun to watch. And that is it for the College Football Playoff Selection Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll get you guys back here in the postseason just a little bit. I'll see you in the games.